Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Back again with another video. You already know the drill. Like, comment, share, subscribe. To jump right into this video, I would consider it like a part 2 of the most recent video that I dropped called Hardships, Make or Break. And if you haven't seen that one, I would highly suggest going to look at that one first, because these two kind of intertwine with one another. But essentially in that video, I was just saying how grateful I am for the way that I was brought up. Not that I'm proud of everything, but just to touch on some things that kind of helped shape me to be the person that I am today, and how I was giving praise to the fact that oftentimes when you are raised in humble beginnings, or when you have to endure certain hardships, whether it be big or small, what you get out of them are worth more than anything. So this part 2 is now more so about the parents. Don't kill me. But I just got off the phone with a friend of mine, and so we were talking about the video that I just told you about, the one about hardships. And it's like he said these words so perfectly. He was just like, a lot of parents are the reason why their kids are so oppressed, or something along those lines. Like, he said it way better than how I'm trying to, paraphrase it now. But essentially he was just saying how, like, a lot of parents keep their kids oppressed by babying them for too long. And I'm in full agreement of that. And so the conversation went on and went on. And so I just like to share some insight on how that convo went with you guys. And you guys could just let me know your thoughts. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times when parents try to shelter their children too much, try to baby them for too long, ultimately you are oppressing the children, because what you're doing is you're depriving them from all of the life experiences that will eventually come. So why not get them ready for it now? They're not going to be in your home and in your arms and under your care and protection their whole lives. So why not at least get them ready for the real world? I'm not saying you have to go about it a specific way, like how some of our parents went about it, or some of the other generations before me went about it, because there is no blueprint, but it's all about putting your best foot forward and trying to reinvent the wheel, trying to see, okay, what did the generation before me do, and how did that work out, and how I can tweak this to make it better for my generation, my offspring, and my siblings. And it's just as simple as that, really, because like I said, there's no blueprint that has like all the instructions. It's just you gotta learn from what the people before you did, and then just do better with that. Because you have a lot of parents, especially in my culture, like the Haitian culture, where they feel like it's okay for, like, they encourage the kids to stay home and live with them until they're a certain age, like 28, 30s, or until they get married or something like that. And I feel like that is very, very wrong, because, like, why do I even really need to explain that? Like, and a lot of times they will use, I'm sure that their intentions are pure, because they're always like, I want you to stay home and save money so that way you can be secure and set in your future. While that sounds great and all, but how many of us, when we were living in our parents' houses, actually did that? Like, actually applied that to our lives, where we're like, you know what, I'm gonna stay, live with my parents, and stack up a significant amount of money to be able to move out and be settled and have my own stuff and be self-reliant and stuff like that. Most of us did not. If we saved a little, we saved a little, but we didn't really apply whatever idea that they were telling us. And so I just feel like that's a very antiquated thought and idea, to be trying to push that towards our kids. And I don't know what it's fully about. I haven't really sat down to really try to assess and analyze what the real meaning behind that might be, but ultimately I just know that it is not healthy, because you're really depriving the child. And it doesn't make sense, because now that child's whole life, into their young adulthood, they just feel like they always have something to fall back on, which is you. They don't have that hunger that's built in, where it's make or break, where, like, I can't afford to fool around in this particular area, because at the end of the day, I gotta be the one to pick up the pieces. I don't have nobody that's gonna be there to, this and that for me at all times if I just mess up. So it's just very, very important that, you know, we're very mindful, so we don't repeat those same cycles in our generation. And so if we're feeling like we're currently in that state, that we start to make efforts to try to get out, because it really is a form of oppression. You know, you're not growing, you know, and this goes beyond just living at home with your parents. That was just one example that I gave. But it's just about like your upbringing, and how a lot of parents, they think that they're doing their kids a service because you're trying to give them everything you didn't have, and you're trying to prevent them from experiencing a lot of the hardships that you experienced as a child. But at the same time, they're missing out on so much. There are certain things that they have to be experienced in order for you to fully tap into them, you know? And yeah, it's crazy. And so growing up as a kid, like, and me, my siblings and friends and other people just around me, we always like to make jokes. You know, everybody always like to make jokes about their upbringing and everything, and share stories back and forth. And oftentimes we would consider it misery, like some of the things that we would have to do in the home. And I'm not gonna argue that point, that it wasn't, you know, like there were some, you know, miserable parts in it. Like majority, yes, was miserable. But, you know, what, again, like I said, what you take from it is what's most important. And so what we get out of that, like when your parents are making you do all this excessive stuff, like, you know, being so extra, you know, waking you up at 5, 6 in the morning, Saturday morning, Sunday mornings, whatever, to clean and to do all of this extra stuff. And I remember like when relatives would come and visit, like if an uncle or aunt just stopped by the house randomly one day on a Saturday or whatever, and the way that we would have to treat them, like our mother would, like, you know, like, oh, go get this person some food. Like the person didn't even ask, you know, but it was just something that that's how we were raised, we were brought up. And when a guest comes to the house, the first thing you do is you offer them, you know, something to eat and drink, you know, somewhere to sit or whatever. And we couldn't just bring the food to them just like that. You know, we had to make sure we plated up real nice. We put it in like a charger, or like something to, like, we put the plate on something nice. I forgot how you say that word in English, a kabale, but those of you that are Haitian know what I'm talking about. And you know, you got to make sure you put the spoon and the fork and a napkin there, and something for them to drink, and you come and you serve it to them like you're a servant in a sense. And we hated it as children, but now it's like built up something in us where it's like, you can't walk into our house without us showing you like an abundance of hospitality, like offering you something to eat, something to drink, a place to sit down, and just knowing how to properly serve people. And so these are things that, you know, that they would do as, you know, we're young, to ensure that when we're placed in those situations, that we're not looking at it as like as some type of cruelty, you know, that it's already like second nature for us. And these are all things that, you know, you learn growing up, and they're very beneficial. Let's talk about clothing, for example. Like growing up, a lot of us weren't as fortunate enough to be rocking name brands and, you know, the most expensive clothes and stuff like that. So what some of us did was we used our brains. They helped us to be more creative, where, you know what, I didn't have a name brand to hide behind, so I was able to make something out of nothing. Well, whatever cheap clothes that I had, or hand-me-downs or whatever, I was able to put stuff together to make it look like it was worth something. While, you know, a lot of other kids, you know, if they just put on one piece of name brand article, piece of clothing, that's like considered flea or fly, you know, like, oh, if they just put on a pair of Jordans and their outfit could be so plain or basic, or a pair of Nikes or a Gucci belt, or, you know, a Hollister shirt when Hollister was, you know, really popular back then, whatever, just that one little name brand piece of clothing that you have on, it made your whole outfit fly. And it took the brain work out of dressing up or whatever for you. So, you know, all of these things are things that built up hunger inside of us. And so I wrote something while I was having this conversation with my friend that I said that, like, a lot of us have such a strong hunger now because we were left hungry as kids. And so what I mean is not like literally left hungry, like, because we didn't have the luxuries that some of our other friends had growing up. That was like, we had a thirst for that. We had a hunger for that. You know, we were left imagining and thinking and wishing, when will my turn come? And when I can't wait until I'm able to make my own money or provide for myself or have this or have the means for this, that, and the third. That even now into our adulthood, we are still on go time, on go mode. Like our foot is still on the gas pedal. and we're still just like hungry for better, hungry for more. But we look at some of our friends and stuff, and they're just so comfortable in the very like complacent nature that they're in right now. Like a lot of their situations, they hate it, but they just they don't know what to do to get out, or they just don't want to put forth the effort, or maybe it just doesn't even occur to them that they must do something right now. A lot of our friends are still have this like entitlement feeling, or this feeling of like, like I need you to do this for me, or whatever. Like, and it's like, if you weren't kind of babied or spoiled as a kid and things didn't always come so easily to you, then now into your adulthood, you wouldn't really be reliant on a lot of the things or a lot of the people that you're reliant on right now. And so it's just like, it's a very disservice that some parents do to their kids. And it's not that I'm the perfect parent or I'm doing everything right, but I'm just sharing some viewpoints of like what I learned growing up, and how certain things that I used to dread, certain experiences that I couldn't stand, how now I'm seeing the benefits of them in my life. And I don't want to have to repeat those same cycles, and I don't want anybody else to have to do the same thing either. So that's pretty much all that I have for you guys. Just urging you guys to please assess your life. Try to see where you are. If it's somewhere that you're happy, like if you feel fulfilled or any sense of fulfillment, if you feel like you're okay, and what can you do to get yourself to a better situation? Because you might have been oppressed by your parents just babying you and make you feel like it's okay to always be reliant and dependent on them. So that's it. See you guys on the next one. Bye.